your path, and life wisdom from the guides. Life wisdom stands for love, inspiration, faith, and empowerment. On this spiritual talk show, we talk about everything from self-love and creating your own reality to the quantum physics of our time-space reality and what your soul wants you to know. I'm Ed Langan. I'm your host. I am a psychic channel for the Ascended Ones. I am a life coach, a law of attraction expert, and a spiritual teacher. Other than that, I am just a regular dude, whatever that might be. On this episode, we're going to talk about spiritual principles. The first part of the show, I'm going to talk about spiritual principles that are working in our lives, whether we realize it or not, and knowing what they are and how they work will change how you look at life and help you raise your vibration. The second part of the show, I'm going to channel the guides and answer questions that people have sent in either ahead of time about law of attraction or about any aspects of life, or you can post questions during the live chat, and I will go over the details of that with you when it gets closer to that time. Good. All right. Thank you for everybody who is liking and sharing all of our shows from Star Nation, all of my personal shows. We really appreciate that. And a big thank you from everybody in Star Nations. During these challenging times, we invite you to take care of yourself, and we have lots of valuable resources at Star Nations. There's lots of information out there. I know Neshi is doing a meditation just about every single day. I think it is actually every single day. I know Polly Joe is doing meditations. Maureen Mann is doing meditations. Julie Hedges is doing that. So take advantage of the resources that are available to you. Pauline is here. Hi, Pauline. How are you? Hope all is well. And hi, Sandy. How are you? Glad you're here. A while back, I did a show with Neshi, and I did a tapping on releasing fear, and we will make sure that that information gets into the post here. Anybody, hi Lynn, how are you? Anybody who wants to have a copy of the tapping script can message me, and I will get that to you, and we'll put the link in for the show so that you guys can check that out also. Good. Excellent. Excellent. All right. The April edition of Star Nations magazine. Here it is. There we go. Is going to be published tomorrow, and that's the cover there. There's some. My sister Ann is here. Hi, Ann. How are you? There are some really great articles in here, including my article on releasing fear. So this is another resource for you all from Star Nations. We will make sure the information also gets into the post in case you want to get a copy of that and subscribe. All right, good. And so we have a few people joining us while we're waiting to see who's joining us. By the way, Marge is flying the plane, as it were. She is producing the show. We had some trouble last month, and we didn't know if that was going to happen, but figured out today, and Marge is flying the plane and doing a great job already of that. Rob is here. Hello, Rob. Mara is here. Hello, Mara. And while we're waiting for that, I just want to remind everybody that once a month, we do a meditation and prayer. And the purpose of it, it's for 10 minutes, and we hold the intention of peace, love, harmony, and healing. And obviously now more than ever, we need to do that, or we choose to do that. You don't need to do that. We choose to do that. Polly Joe is here. Hi, Polly Joe. Courtney is here. Hi, Courtney. Neshi is here. Hi, Neshi. My sister is saying hello to, to Marge. Rob is saying hello to everybody. Thank you. So the meditation and prayer is going to be on April 27th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, and it lasts for 10 minutes. Now, the interesting thing about time is not linear. So if you guys can't join us at that particular time, if you meditate during the day, or the day before or the day after, you can hold the intention that your energy joins ours, and it will do that because time is not linear anyway. So time is an illusion as we move up into the fourth dimension. So you can certainly do that. Okay, good. This is, there we go, a life wisdom from the guides that was originally posted 3 years ago. And I recently came across it. Facebook likes to say memories from years ago if you want to repost it. And I did repost it, but I want to read it to all of us because it's appropriate now. And Polly Joe shared my show. Thank you very much, Polly Joe. I appreciate that. I hope all is well for you. All right. And this is what it says. As you walk along your spiritual path, you're going to encounter difficult terrain. Some people may refer to this as walking through darkness. The difficult terrain or the darkness are the places where you are going to grow the most. The whole point of your spiritual path is growth, learning, and to open your heart to who you really are and to fill it with love. Everyone is on a spiritual path. Make peace with the harder parts of your path, and you will get through it much easier. Your guides and the whole universe are cheering for you and helping you along your way. You are loved always. You can do this. So this is from the guides 3 years ago. If you're interested in receiving daily life wisdom for free, you can go to my website, which Marge has up on there, and subscribe to that. We send out a daily life wisdom every single day. And Barbara is here. Hi, Barbara. How are you? Welcome. We're glad you're here. Excellent. Just looking at the script here. Oh, okay. Good. Thank you to all of you, for everybody, for the love and the prayers and the support for my family as we've gone through and are still going through this difficult time. We really appreciate it. We also understand that there's lots and lots of other people also going through these same challenges and difficulties. And so Marge and I have decided that it's time to get back to work and get back on with our mission. So that's why we're here, of spreading light and love. So we're committed to doing that, and we're getting back to work. Good. Spiritual principles. This show comes with an asterisk for 2 reasons. There's a lot of spiritual principles on my list here, and I don't know if we're going to get through all of them today. We may or may not, so we may need to have a part 2 of this show. We'll see as we go along. And the other thing is some of these principles may trigger you. And that's okay, because when you get triggered, there's an asking and there's an asking for healing. So just be aware of this. Some of these may push your buttons. They may trigger you, and that's a good thing. So anyway, let's do that. Let's jump in. Spiritual principles. The first principle is you live what you believe about everything, period. Whether it's true or not, if you believe it, it's true for you. So that's an interesting thing there, because then that starts to question what is true and what does the truth mean. If you believe something, it's true for you. And if you don't believe it, it's not true for you. And you're the only one who has control over that. Now, this is one of the things about law of attraction is it's part of the law of attraction is you create your own reality. But if you don't believe that you can create it, you never will. So that one was a challenging one for me in the beginning to really understand that it's based on what you believe. You live what you believe. Perfect. Good. Number 2, one of my favorites, obviously, because I'm a law of attraction expert, is you create your own reality whether you know it or not. And this is where the law of attraction comes in. So I'm going to ask you a question. Have you ever heard the expression, as you sow, so shall you reap? And I can see you all nodding your heads out there. That yes, you've heard of that. That's talking about the law of attraction. We've known about the law of attraction for a long time. And you create your own reality, whether you realize it or not. And when you start using the law of attraction and doing it on purpose, now you're creating on purpose by choice. Most people are creating by reaction. They're reacting to what they see and then sending their energy out accordingly. And that's okay. You're still creating your own reality. You're just not doing it on purpose. Good. All right. The next one I didn't like, and most people don't like this one. And that is, you are manifesting 100% of the time. If you're awake, you're manifesting. Think about that. If you're awake, you're manifesting. That's an interesting thought. Now, when we're teaching the law of attraction workshops, people come to us and say, well, I'm manifesting a new job. I'm manifesting a new house. I'm manifesting more money. I'm manifesting a relationship. I'm manifesting all of that. And when we say to them, yeah, that's fine. And yes, you are. But you're also manifesting your entire life. If you're awake, you're manifesting. That one takes a little bit to swallow. That takes a little bit in there. But that goes back to number 2. You're creating your own reality, whether you know it or not. So that doesn't mean that the law of attraction is on sometimes and not on other times. So the law of attraction is on when I'm manifesting a car, or I'm manifesting a new house, or I'm manifesting a new job. Then yeah, the law of attraction is on, but the rest of the time it's not. It's like, no, the law of attraction is on all the time. And if you're awake, you're manifesting. Good. Can we manifest in the dream state? Serious question. That is a really good question, Rob. Thank you for asking that. That's a great question. So what's happening in your dream state, and not every single one of your dreams, but a lot of your dreams are your subconscious talking to you. But the other thing that's happening in your dreams is releasing a lot of the negative energy and a lot of the negative stuff that you're holding on to from the day. So it's sort of it's a clearing and it's a moving out. And then there's also a conversation with your spirit guides, and some of the things that happen in your dreams, you're trying them on before they manifest in this reality. So there is some, we won't call it manifestation in your dream state. We will call it pre-manifestation in your dream state. Now, the thing with dreams, and the thing to remember, is your subconscious talks to you in symbols. So if you see, well, we're going to go with this one. If you see a snake, that doesn't necessarily mean literally a snake, okay? And if you see money, that may mean abundance. That may mean some other things. That may not necessarily mean exactly money. So what you want to do is you want to sort of decipher what those symbols mean and how they are, how you're interpreting what they mean to you. And the way you do that is you check in with how it feels. If you have a really strange dream and you wake up and you feel all right and it doesn't feel, or you feel even happy, then that's all good. If you have a dream that wakes you up because you're anxious or scared or fearful, and that's how you feel, that's something that we would pay a little bit more attention to, because your subconscious is communicating with you where your focus is, where your energy is, and where you want to shift. Potentially, that's up to you, shift and change, but take a look at that. So that's a really, really good question, Rob. Thank you very much for asking that. Good. Great. All right. Number 4, you cannot create in someone else's reality. And that's a really good thing. Think of the mess that our world would be if we could create in everybody else's reality. Because right now, I like you all. I like you all a lot. So I would manifest for you whatever it is you're asking for, money or a better job, a new house, whatever. I would, until we have a disagreement. And then you get coal and banana peels. So think about it. If you could create in somebody else's reality, what kind of chaos would that create? So everybody is creating their own reality. Everybody is responsible for what they're creating, for what they're manifesting. And Julie is saying number 4 is my favorite, but not easy. I agree, Julie. Thank you. And we're happy you're here. Good. Yeah. Now, do we have some influence on the people who are close to us? Yes, we do. We do have some influence, but no matter how much you love somebody or not love them, you cannot create in their own reality. They're the only ones that can create in their own reality, and that is actually a really good thing. Good. Number 5, to move forward, you have to let go of the past. Polly Joe and I do a wonderful workshop together. And in the beginning of the workshop, what I do, let's see, there we go. This camera being the opposite of the way is tricky. I put this in my hand and I ask people to make a fist, and with their fist, pick this up. And you can see with a fist, you can't pick this up. It can't be done. So to move forward, you have to let go of the past. You have to open your hands. You have to let it go. You cannot become who you are and move to where you're going if you're holding on to the past. You gotta let go. You gotta open your hands. Does that mean some of what's in your hands is going to fall out? Yeah, it does. It does. But to move forward, you have to let go of who you were to become something new. Now, earlier this morning in my Facebook Live, I was talking about the fact that the world before we all went into quarantine is gone. That world is over. So we have to release that and let that go and decide how we want our world to be when the quarantine is over, when we move forward. What are we creating? Because the past, we need to let that go. Now, are there people who are going to be holding on to try to create what was already there? Yeah, there are, but they're going to be surprised when they get out because that's gone. Energy is a river. It's flowing. Energy only moves forward. It can't go back. It only moves forward. Have you heard me say that you can't step twice into the same river? Because the energy is flowing, it's always moving forward. So if you're trying to hold on, right? Think of yourself in a river with the current moving and you're holding on to the bank to try to so you don't go along with the current. How uncomfortable, how difficult is that? Energy moves forward. You're also energy. You're also a river, and you can't go back either. So you have to open your hands and move forward. Good. Excellent. Number 6. I'm going to grab a drink of water here real quick. Thank you. And Sandy is saying that number 3 showed up after the workshop. And number 3 was you're manifesting 100% of the time. So that's great. Excellent. Perfect. Number 6, do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? And we ask this question in the workshop a lot. And we jokingly say that the right answer is, I want to be happy. Now, this is one of the ones that I had some trouble with. I went through the American school system, which I'm guessing that a lot of you also did. I know Pauline didn't. Well, that's not true. I don't know. Maybe she did and moved back to England. I'm not sure, but I'm guessing that she didn't. Anyway, and Mara's right, happy is the answer. We were taught in school that it's important to be right. And that's really, really ingrained in our subconscious. And a lot of arguments, a lot of conflict, a lot of challenges come from the idea that we want to be right, that there's some reason to be right, that there's brownie points for being right. And there isn't. I had learned that years ago when we started our spiritual path, when we heard Marianne Williamson on Oprah talking about A Return to Love, her book, and A Course in Miracles. And then that's when that came up. And do you want to be happy or do you want to be right? And every once in a while, I still want to be right. But I'm getting much better at it. And I am learning to let it go, that it's not worth it. So think about that. And perhaps the next time you're having a challenge or having conflict, take a look at it and ask yourself, is this me simply wanting to be right? There's someone I talk to fairly frequently, and he wants to be right. And yet he's not happy, and he's miserable, and he doesn't understand why the conflict is or what it is, but he is so focused on being right. And I ask him that, and he says to me, no, I want to be happy. And I go, yeah, it's not connecting with your subconscious. It's not sinking in. So it does take some practice. It took me a while to get over that. And once in a while, I'm not so great at it. But most of the time, I open my hands and let it go and say, I'd rather be happy. It's not worth it. So think about that one. That one can be tricky. Number 7 can also be tricky. Everything is neutral. Everything is neutral. A Course in Miracles says, I don't know what anything is for. It also says, I give everything I see all the meaning it has for me. Now, I'm going to explain both of those in a second, but before we do, in case you're not familiar with the Course in Miracles, I want to explain to you what that is. A Course in Miracles is a channeled text that was channeled in the 70s by Helen Schumann. And Helen Schumann was an academic from Columbia University in New York. So that certainly rocked their world. They didn't know what to do with that or how that came about. And Helen does not have her name on A Course in Miracles. She did not want anything to detract from the information and from the text. So A Course in Miracles is a text and a workbook. The workbook has 365 exercises in it. You do one exercise every single day for a year. And the purpose of A Course in Miracles is to change your thinking from a fear-based system to a love-based system. This was the very beginning of our spiritual path. Marjorie and I did this years and years ago. I was still probably in my early 20s when we did it. And Marge was interested in doing it, and she would ask me about it. And I would say to her, it's impossible. Can't be done. An exercise every day for 365 days. So that's an exercise every single day of the year. You can't be done. I was like, Christmas, Easter, Thanksgiving, New Year's Day, pizza day, beer day, hangover day, sleep late day, etc. But we did it. We actually went through A Course in Miracles. We actually did it 2 times. We did it, and then 6 months later, we did it again. And that was really the beginning of the shift of my thinking changing from fear to love, because some of you know that I am how I grew up, and so that was a big shift for me. Hi, Maureen. How are you? Thank you. Liked and shared. I appreciate that. Thank you, Maureen Mann. Maureen Mann has a wonderful show called Angel Therapy, and she does meditations on that also. So if you missed the very beginning of the show where I was talking about the resources, Maureen is a wonderful resource. Polly Jo is on here also. She's a wonderful resource. So use the stuff from Star Nations to help you guys as we're all dealing with the current situation. Excellent. Good. All right. So everything is neutral. I don't know what anything is for. I give everything I see all the meaning it has for me. Now, this goes back to number one, which was you live what you believe. You're deciding what everything means. And you alone are deciding. You have three options. This is good. This is bad. I don't know. Now, when something happens and you decide that it's bad and start running the energy of this is bad, that's how it's going to turn out because you're running that energy. When something happens and you decide that this is good, it's going to usually turn out to be good because you're running the energy of this is good. Now, we understand that you can't always land on this is good. But can you land on this is neutral? I don't know. Instead of deciding this is bad and running the energy of this is bad, that will make a big difference for you. You're deciding what everything means, which goes back to you create your own reality, which goes back to live what you believe about everything. So you're the one who's choosing and you're the one who's deciding. This one took a while for me to swallow. This one took a while for me to understand because we've been taught to give away our power. Everything is neutral and you're deciding what it means for you. Oops, there we go. Good. Number 8. This one some of you have heard before. Number 8 is do not take anything personally. That's a challenge. We've been taught to take things personally. When I was a kid, I remember getting yelled at by my mother for hurting my brother Johnny's feelings. You hurt Johnny's feelings. And I was like, ooh, I like that. Hey, I'm strong. Oh, wait a minute. If I can hurt his feelings, that means he can hurt mine too. And the fact is, no one can hurt your feelings without your permission. Eleanor Roosevelt, and this is one of my favorite quotes, said, no one can make you feel inferior without your consent. So you have to give them permission. So you have to give somebody permission to hurt your feelings. This goes back to you create your own reality. This goes back to you, whatever you believe, you live. This goes back to everything is neutral. You're deciding, you're choosing. And if you're choosing to take things personally, then you're going to be offended and you're going to run that energy accordingly. Now, some of you recognize this as agreement number 2 from Don Miguel's wonderful book, Don Miguel Ruiz's wonderful book, The 4 Agreements. This is agreement number 2. And in our opinion and the opinion of our guides, my guides, that this is the most important one, that do not take anything personally. And this takes practice. We believe that everybody should have to work retail for 1 year. They should have to work in a retail store for 1 year, probably the year after getting out of college, or maybe between high school and college. It should be a required course because you will understand quickly that when the customer comes in having a fit about something not working and it just and how it ruined their life and all this other stuff, that it has nothing to do with you. When And this was another part of this that it took some time for me to understand this and really get this, because I was used to taking things personally. But what people say is about themselves. And when people are having a hissy fit or an argument or a bad day or whatever, the conflict is within them and has nothing to do with you, unless you take it personally and then join the conflict. So remember in the beginning, I said some of these may trigger you. That was one that triggered me. This was a challenge because understanding that it has to do with them. What people say is about them. 99.9% of what people think is about themselves and has absolutely nothing to do with you. So keep that in mind and try not to join their energy. Mara is saying 7 and 8, definitely, although I'm getting a bit better. Excellent. I'm glad, Mara. I'm happy for you. I know you've been doing your work and you've been on your path for a while, so good for you. Congratulations. Excellent. All right. Number 9 also goes with number 8. You cannot teach someone, excuse me, who is not asking. And don't take that personally. You can't teach someone who's not asking. This was one of the first things that I learned on my spiritual path after learning about A Course in Miracles. What happened was I was really, really excited about A Course in Miracles. It was definitely shifting and changing my life. It was making a huge impact on me. Some of you know my father is a retired New York City police officer, so I grew up in a fairly fear-based, fairly, a big fear-based system. We're just going to call it what it is. It was a big fear-based system. And I was really, really excited about A Course in Miracles because it shifted my energy and it changed that, and it changed a lot of things for me. So I was telling people about Course in Miracles, and you should try it, and and they're looking at me like, you're out of your mind. Or they wouldn't even look at me. It was like I was talking to a tree or talking to the wall because they weren't asking, so they couldn't hear me. This can be a challenge for teachers in general, for spiritual teachers, because we feel something, we get excited about it, we want to share it with all our friends, we want our friends to feel the joy and excitement that we feel, and we start putting that out there, and it's not reciprocated. And we go, wait a minute, what's going on here? So if someone is not asking, they can't hear the answer. They're not interested in the answer, and you cannot teach anybody who's not asking. So keep that in mind. When I do my work, when I teach, I wait for people to ask. Because when they ask, that's when they're ready to receive. You've all heard the expression, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. That's because when the student is ready, he or she are asking. And that's the point that it's answered. Okay? That brings us to number 10. And number 10 is the universe always says yes. You're the one that says no. I'm going to repeat that. The universe always says yes. You're the one that says no. I didn't like this when I learned this one. I was like, really? That doesn't seem right. That doesn't seem... When we teach law of attraction, we teach people how to manifest exactly what they want and how to do it. But there's two things. If you don't have the self-esteem, if you don't believe that you're worthy of having it, are you going to allow yourself to have it? No. And if you don't believe that you can have it, are you going to allow yourself to have it? No. And in both cases, that's not the universe saying no. That's you saying no. So you play a part in this. Your energy, your thoughts, you have a bigger part of this. And Pauline is saying, good one, number 10. Yeah. It's an interesting one. Our guides, and you also know Abraham, has said the truest words in the dictionary are this: ask and it is given. Every time it's answered. Jerry and Esther Hicks Abraham wrote a book called Ask and It Is Given. So something, if you guys are looking for a book to read, that's a real good one. Whenever you ask, it's given. The universe says yes. You're the one that says no. Now, you are not in charge of timing. So that's another way that it can appear that the universe says no, but they're lining up the timing. They're taking care of the timing. They're figuring all of that out. Unless you, crap, I don't want it. I don't care anyway. The heck with it, right? And you just pull your energy out of it and sort of go off and sulk. So you shoot yourself in the foot and you pull your energy out of it. The universe is in the process of getting it to you. Now, that may mean that you have to let go of the past and open your hands. That may mean that there's a certain amount of timing involved. That may mean that you have to shift and change your energy and work on a lot of these principles that we talked about. But the universe did not say no. You did. Think of it like this. You're in a car at night and it's pitch black. And with your headlights on, you can see approximately 200 feet in front of your car, which is more than enough for you to drive anywhere you need to go. But you can't see what's coming and you really can't figure out where you're going. Whereas the universe, with its higher perspective, has night vision goggles on and can see everything that's coming and can align and arrange and create synchronicities and all of that if you'll be patient with it and let it happen. You're the one that says no, and you have control over that. All spiritual teachings, all religions, all of that talk about faith, and this is where faith comes in. The universe always says yes. So use that as your affirmation. The universe always says yes, and remember that. Good, excellent. Mara is saying we have to just let it go. Yes, so many times have been there. Definitely working on these principles. Thank you. Lynn is saying that's a real interesting one and so true. Jacqueline is saying good point. Thank you, Jacqueline. Glad you're here. Nice to see you. All right. Number 11. Your true self is in your heart. Your true self is in your heart. Empathy is a superpower. Now, I have lots of people out there that we've been talking about empathy, and right now they're going, a superpower? Are you out of your mind? Feeling everybody else's out? And I understand, and it took me a while to understand that too. But what's happening is as we're raising our consciousness, one of the first parts of waking up is your heart starts to open and you become more empathetic with everybody else. You start to feel their energy. And there's lots of teachers on this program that I've talked about who can help you with how to work through empathy. And if you need help with that, contact any of us, Maureen, Polly Jo, myself, Neshi, Julie Hedges, any of us can help you with that. So if you need help with that, let us know. But what's happening is your higher mind is in your heart and your lower mind is here, is your egoic mind. And as we're raising our consciousness, we're moving into our hearts. And that is raising our energy and raising our vibration, because you've heard that we're all one. Well, we're all one through our hearts. That's where we're connected. That's where we are going as a species. We're moving up into our hearts. And empathy is one of the ways that you know that you're moving up your spiritual path as you feel that more and more. Okay? So empathy is a really important thing. That's where we connect. If you are picking up everybody else's energy and you're having trouble discerning between yours and somebody else's, one of the first questions that you want to ask yourself is this mine or is it somebody else's? And wait to see how you're feeling. Because if you're picking up other people's energy, you want to brush that off and let that go. Okay. So if you're feeling overwhelmed with empathy, that's one of the ways to check in. Is this mine or is it somebody else's? And a lot of times it may be somebody else's, and you'll learn how to close up your edges. You'll learn how to ground and clear that off. There's lots of things that you can do to help with that. And as I said, on Star Nations, there's lots of information, lots of people there who can help you with that. Excellent. Number 12. Love is what we are. Period. Source energy, creative energy, the energy that created all of this, which some people refer to as God. I am now referring to that as source energy, as creative energy, as original energy, which creates, is the energy of love. And that's what we truly are, and that's what resides in our hearts, and that's where we connect from. So we are the energy of love. Now, we have some misunderstandings about love from being physical and from what we've been taught. We have been taught conditional love. Conditional love is this: if you behave in a way that I deem loving and appropriate, then I love you. And if you don't, then I don't love you. I remember years ago, a friend of mine was talking to his adult daughter on the phone, and he said to her, "If you love me at all, you'll clean your room." I was horrified. I wanted to take off my shoe and hit him in the back of the head with my shoe, but that wouldn't have solved anything anyway. That was the way he was brought up. To use love as a tool, as a way to manipulate people. That is not unconditional love. That is conditional love. Source energy, creative energy is love. Pure love. There's no conditions on it. We're the ones who create the conditions. And as we Okay, and we're back. Sorry about that. Marge was right on top of that, and we got that figured out. And the time right now is 4:44, so that's good. So that means we're on track. Everything is good. We're having a major thunderstorm outside, so maybe that's what it was. But anyway, hopefully you can all still see me, and I appear to be back. Okay, good. All right. So we were talking about conditional love, and remember that the universe loves you unconditionally. There's nothing that you can do. Margaret says we're back. Hi, Margaret. Thank you. Great. There's nothing that you can do to not receive the love of this. Lynn is saying love 444. Excellent. Good. Perfect. All right. Back. Pauline, good. All right, so we're all back with everybody. That was weird, but Marge got it right away, and here we are. So we're good. So that was the principles that we're going to cover for today. And as I said, there's a whole lot more, so we may need to do a part 2 for this show because I do have a list of more principles, but we will get to that some other time. Good. And Paulina is saying, thank you, Marge. Yes, thank you, Marge. I appreciate it. All right. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in the guides and answer questions for people. And the thing with the guides is this is just the guidelines. If you haven't heard these before, the guides can be very direct and blunt sometimes, and it always comes from a loving place. The more focused and powerful the question, the more powerful the answer from the guides. Sometimes my voice changes. You always have free will, so they're not going to take away your free will. The guides are going to give you what you need, but not necessarily what you want. And I also want to remind you that you can send in questions ahead of time to my to Messenger, to the pages, etc. All right. And Paula is saying we're back. Hi, Paula. Good. Glad you're here. All right. So just give me a second and we'll get the guides and we'll go from there. And we're here. Thank you. Good. So the first question was sent in ahead of time by Lynn. And Lynn, we have some answers for you. And the energy around the first part of your question keeps jumping around as you're all doing your meditations, as you're doing things to help raise the vibration, as you're doing things to heal the energy of the planet and to shift the energy. You're sending Reiki to the world. You're sending Reiki to people who are working through this. You're offering that as you're sending all this energy. Things are fluctuating, but it feels to us right now, and this is the energy of right now, it feels to us that this is going to be over, the end of it is going to be around the second week of June. So that's what the energy is feeling right now. As far as the personal part of your question, we feel that for you, there's a chance that it's going to be the end of June, but there's also a chance that it's going to be after the 4th of July. So we understand that physically you're having some challenges and it's uncomfortable for you. So we would ask you to have your friends send you Reiki, do some Reiki on yourself, offer healing, do that kind of work and continue to do that and hang in there. Your safety is important, and we don't want you going into that situation too soon. So it feels like the end of June, or as we said, just after the 4th of July. So excellent. Good. Thank you. Wonderful question. Thank you, Lynn. All right. And Barbara Clinton would love a message. Okay. Let me see what we can find for Barbara. Barbara, the message is for you and is for a lot of the people out there who are watching, who are feeling the energy of right now. And the way we would like you to feel this is we'd like you to relax. We'd like everybody to relax a little bit. The humans are always in a hurry to get back to this, to get back to that, to do this, to do that. And we would like you to relax. The idea of utopia in the future never brings utopia to the now, because it's always somewhere in the future. What we would like you all to do is to allow right now to be enough, to be in the moment, to be in the quiet of the moment, to relax and to allow it to be enough. And when you do that, the utopia that you seek is right now. The answer is right now. The relaxation, the connection, the wellness, that everything is okay is right now. And the more of us who do that, the easier it will be for all of us to get through this. So it's not sometime in the future, it's now. what we're doing, most of us, is we're making now not all right. Now is not the way we like it to be. Now we want now to be different. We want the moment to be different. We want this, we want that, we want the other thing. And all of those things cause stress in your experience. Stress is wanting reality to be different than what it is. That's where stress comes from. And stress comes from the higher mind. I'm sorry, from the lower mind, from thoughts and thinking, whereas the calmness, the peace, the utopia that's now is in your lower mind. It's in your in your higher mind, in your heart. And that's where we'd like you to be. So your message is relax. Be more in the moment and relax and do the best you can. And it takes some practice. And that's part of the path, and part of moving forward is learning how to do that. Thank you very much. It's a wonderful question. Thank you. Pauline, I'd like to ask the guides for any guidance for me as I'm trying to follow my spiritual path. Okay. So you only know us through the Facebooks, and we haven't had a chance to the shows and everything, and we haven't had a chance to really talk to you yet. But you use the T word, and we don't like the T word. And some of the people who've been to our workshops know that the T word is not, because when you're trying to do something, you don't have it. Right? We've said this before. People come up to Ed and say to Ed, "You teach law of attraction," and Ed will say yes, and they'll go, "That doesn't work." And when they say that, what they're doing is they're trying. So you can't, when you're trying to manifest something, do you have it? And the answer is no, because if you're trying, you don't have it. So the same answer that we gave to Barbara is also works for you too. You are on your spiritual path, Pauline. You are moving forward. You are learning. You are growing. And we want you to take the future part out of it and make it now. I'm on my path right now. I'm feeling the peace of it right now. I'm feeling the joy of this moment right now. This moment is perfect right now. Everything is fine right now, and you're on your spiritual path. You cannot be off your spiritual path. You're always on your spiritual path, and your spiritual path lasts through this lifetime and then on and on and on, because you are a spirit moving forward, growing, learning, and evolving. So you're always on your spiritual path. Put yourself in the peaceful, calm moment. Allow now to be that. And from that place, see if you're inspired. And if you are, do what you're inspired to do. And if you're not, let the now be enough. Perfect. Thank you, Pauline. Wonderful question. Good. Rob would like a message from the guides. Okay. Hold on one second. We'll see what... Rob, have you been in the energy of worry a lot? Have you been very concerned about the health and care of other people? Have you been sort of getting sort of caught up in the energy of the illness of the current situation of the world? And what we would do, and it's interesting, the answer keeps being the same thing for everybody, is to get into the now, get into the moment, and let now be okay, and let now be enough. And as it's enough, let that be where you come from. We want you to relax. We want you to release the worry. You cannot love and worry at the same time. They're two completely different vibrations. And if you're in worry, you're not connected. You're not allowing your energy to flow. So be aware of the worry and work on letting that go. Play your guitar more, because we know playing your guitar brings you joy. Do things that bring you joy. Do things that raise your vibration. That is what our energy work is right now. That's what most of us are doing, is we're holding and raising the vibration while the rest of the world is in a very fearful, panicked place. So we're holding the vibration. Good. Excellent. Polly Joe would love guidance on the new model that is coming in. Perfect. Okay. And we're understanding what you're saying is the new paradigm, the new energy, the new world that's being birthed here. And the we love your question. We love the energy around it, and um, it's got to move quicker than most people realize. What's happening is when there's a global event like this, there's a really, really powerful, focused asking. And remember one of the principles that we said earlier, when you ask, it is given. So the answer is coming, the answer is already here, and it's the humans unfolding that, unpacking that, and allowing that to move forward and allowing that to shift and change. The initial return, there's going to be sort of a big burst of joy, a big burst of relief, and then there'll be a jump forward, and then there will seem to be a slight falling back, and then things will level out and move forward. People are going through a big spiritual awakening. There is going to be a raising of consciousness. People are going to be more aware of all of us light workers. People are going to be more aware and more curious about what we're doing. They're going to continue to ask as they see the systems of the world really not functioning well. And they're going to start looking for alternatives. And as the amazing beacon of light that you are, people are going to be attracted to you and ask. And as so many others of Star Nations are these beautiful beacons of light, people are going to be attracted to them and they're going to ask. And all of you who are watching this show are part of that energy, and you're also going to be playing a part as people ask, as you hold your energy, as you raise your vibration. The world is moving towards more in your heart, to more connected, to more understanding our love for each other, our connection through love, our energy, our connection, our oneness, as we're moving towards oneness consciousness. So there is going to be a big relief and some movement forward. There'll be a slight, what feels like a backslide, but it's not. And then it'll be moving forward again from there. So good. Excellent. Wonderful question. Thank you. Thank you. I would love a message, please. And thank you from Mara. Good. All right. Kate Brooks is here. Hi, Kate. How are you? Mara, we feel like you're still trying too hard. And we know how hard you work. We know how important your spiritual path is. We know how much that means to you and how it opens your heart. We would allow ourselves to relax a little bit. We know that you've been doing some Facebook lives where you've been reading some of your poetry and things like that. We like that. That's a really nice thing to offer your people. We would continue to do that. We would continue to offer your creativity, offer your some of your writing, some of your poetry, and share that with the people. That's your way of sharing your light, and that's really, really good. And we like that. Um, and we want you to relax a little bit. So the big theme through all of this, as we've been saying earlier, is utopia can be right now. So be more in the moment and relax. Excellent. Thank you, Mara. Wonderful question. Kate Brooks. Hi, Kate. How are you? I hope all is well. Um, do the guides have any advice or messages for light workers in general? Thank you. Yes. Good. Excellent. And we kind of answered that a little bit with Polly Joe and a little bit of what we've been saying all through here. But what it is and what we would like light workers to understand and know is through this, through your focus, through your work, and how most people have comported themselves through this, they've recommitted to their work. They've recommitted to what they're doing. They've recommitted to being a light worker, and your light is shining brighter, and you are going to attract more people. So there is going to be more opportunities for you to shine your light, for you to help, for you to be more loving, for you to be the beautiful beacon of light that we know you are, Kate. So for light workers in general, this is us kicking it up a notch. This is us all shining our lights brighter. This is us sort of coming out and saying, okay, here we are. We're changing the world and we're ready to help anybody who wants to move forward with us. And that's what we're doing. We're shifting and changing that energy as we move forward. So for light workers, make sure that you're grounding yourself. Make sure that you're connecting. Make sure that you're taking time to care for yourself. The energy is really, really strong now. And you want to make sure that you're not picking up a lot of other people's energy also and holding on to it. So ask, is this mine or somebody else's? And release it and let it go. Excellent. Good. Karen. Hello, Karen. My sleep has been interrupted lately. I do feel fearful. I'm perfect. I'm peacefully quarantined. Why am I restless at night? Well, that's a great question. And our experience is what's happening is there's a couple of different things going on here. Some people are sleeping really, really well, and some people are having crazy night sleeps, and some people it's a little bit for both. Last night I slept really well. The night before I didn't sleep well at all. So, and the other thing that's happening is a lot of people are having crazy dreams because the energy of the world is so strong, and you wake up in the morning going, what the heck was that? It's all part of the shifting. It's all part of the energy. It's all part of the new paradigm. And as the energy shifts, we went through a full moon last night. There was the portal on 4/4, which is staying open for a while. So there's just a lot of energy around. We don't know if you're familiar with Amy Cuddy, who does Standing in Your Power, where you stand with your hands on your hips for 2 minutes like this. Well, standing like that reduces cortisol in your body. And Marge does that for 2 minutes at night before she goes to bed to sort of calm things down and to reduce the cortisol in your body. You can try that and see if that doesn't help. One of the things that does not work is worrying about not being able to sleep and getting in that worried energy, because that will wind you up and make it more challenging. So try to relax. If you can meditate yourself to sleep, that will help. It's going to be, it feels like at least a couple of weeks before the energy starts calming back down and the sleep cycle sort of returns to normal. So bear with that. Hopefully, if you're quarantined, that you can maybe take a nap during the day or something like that, so you don't have to, worry about losing sleep. Excellent. Good. All right. So I think we're a little bit over time here. I have a couple of other things that I want to talk to you about. Our Star Nations weekend that was happening in the end of May that we were going to do live has now been moved to October, and it is going to be online. So we're going to do all of this online. So you will still have a chance to work with Maureen, Polly, Joe, myself, and Neshi, but it's going to be online, and we will get that information for you in the post there. And Pauline is saying, great show. Thank you. You're welcome. Rob is saying, thank you. We appreciate you all. We're doing our workshops on Zoom, so anybody in any part of the country can join in. You can go to my website to check that out. Thank you all for watching. Thank you for Marge for doing a wonderful job and saving us and getting us right back on when we disappeared there. Thank you to Neshi. Thank you to all of you who are watching. You're all part of this. It's a collective. It's our collective energy, and we appreciate your part in this. So thank you very much. I will see you next month. The guides want you to know that you're worthy. Light and love, guys. Take care. Bye.